welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm to the tail end of what has been a very long, very trying nightmare. It started on December 23rd when there's a battery right there. We think it might be the BMS went out. Swap BMS still didn't work. Might have got a bad BMS, still don't know. So, new battery, working fine. When I plugged it in, all of a sudden, my furnace, not that one, my other one, burned up, okay? The wiring. And I just got off the phone with the company that fixed it, and fortunately, it was just the wiring. So, I went to plug in this furnace, and I was getting sparks. And I was like, how am I getting sparks when I have no fuse in the fuse block? So there should be no power. So I started poking around with my voltage meter and my rack. So the racking had 16 volts in the rack. So if I would test my neutral to the rack, I was getting 16 volts. So for a while now, I've been getting the 12 volts for the furnace, not from buck converters, which I have bought 2 buck converters, so I've been running on this one, and then I bought this one a while ago, and it never worked. And it might have never worked because of the way I set it up, I'm not sure. But this panel right here used to be a sheet of metal because I didn't want fire stuff in the system, right? So I'm guessing that died and faulted somehow into the metal one that was there, and thus energized portions of this rack, frying my furnace. Okay, so this board here, so I looked into it. I'm like, well, you know, professionals are, you know, building equipment, doing all this stuff. Well, how are they, you know? Well, it's that paint, that special fireproof paint, and just a normal board. There's a company that'll actually sell you boards, whatever size you want. All they're doing is cutting a board and painting it. So I bought a gallon of that paint. If you're a friend of mine, local, and you want some of this paint, hit me up. I got a gallon and I use like so little of it. So yeah, anybody, hit me up. I will give you free paint just to ensure you have a level of fire proofness between your equipment and the wood you use to mount it, right? Beautiful, awesome. So this is a new buck converter, and I bought this from a company in town. Okay, no more of this eBay components, right? I'm now buying components only, in most cases, wires, stuff like that, you know, but components from somebody that knows what they're talking about and can explain things to me and can replace parts that don't work and all this stuff. So in other words, I buy the battery from a battery distributor. It's a cool dude. Pacific Algorithms, Ryan, super cool guy. If I have a question about the battery, I send him an email and he sends me an email back, and I can just ask him whatever questions. I'm not relying on like forum posts to figure out stuff. Same with my AIO units. Those units I buy from this Watts 24/7. The dude that runs that is like an Australian dude, knows everything you need to know. And when I have a question, I can literally text message him and get an answer, okay? So much better than buying something off eBay, it not working, and that's it, $200, buy. If this thing doesn't work, I'm just gonna take it back to the place in town. They'll test it, and if it doesn't work, they'll give me a new one. Perfect. And I'm going through this all is because I would suggest people do this with reputable sites to get your equipment and supplies from, instead of just buying, like I've done in the past, random stuff on eBay that, who knows what happens when that thing faults out, So, at this point, I'm waiting until the sun goes down because I'm getting power, because I have to shut everything down to wire that last in. And then once that's wired in, I got to check and make sure I don't have 16 volts anymore in my furnace, random voltage. And then I can rewire my furnace into here, and actually I get lights from the 12 volt system as well that I haven't had for a while now, and I kind of miss my lights. And I was going to add more lights when I got this thing running. I was all ready to do that project, and then this didn't work. So I can add a couple more lights on that one and feel safe, because I'm just running these LED lights, right? So these don't really draw much at all. They're 12 volt lights. They don't even really say an amperage on them, so it's low. But now, like I said, waiting for the sun to go down so I can not be wasting any collection of solar energy in that amount of time. I think, like right now, it's raining and there's literally just nothing. But I think that's going to blow by and I might get a little more sun. So I don't want to have this off and get sun. I might have to run the generator one way or the other, not sure. But that's what I'm waiting to do. That's the next step. I'm on the final step. I have my 12 volt lighting back. I'm waiting for the furnace to turn off. I turned it down and it is taking its sweet time. But as soon as it turns off, then I'm going to turn it off, because had I done that last time, it may or may not still burned up, because even if I had turned it off and then came in here and turned it on, like I wouldn't have been over there. I would have been like, turn it on, off, like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? But maybe I would have turned it back off, gone over there, smelled smoke, been able to catch it before it, oh, there we go, before it actually burned up wires. I'd say this is the scary part, but electrical work is scary, because what the professionals would say about me is I know enough to be dangerous. Now, how I counteract that is just going really, really slow. That's why I don't film a lot of this stuff, because I would have these huge videos of me getting this much work done. But I don't really have problems, right? I have this random problem that, I got problems. Let me just go back. Random problems, but not from my wiring, right? Even what just happened, it was this stupid thing right there dying, maybe because it died and I had it on a metal board. So, I'm going to have to take some responsibility, but I'm about ready to go turn on the furnace. And this is the moment. If it doesn't turn on, then I got to turn it right back off. Well, as that dude that made Frankenstein would say, it's alive. It's alive. Ah, so stressful dealing with this stuff, I tell you. But it's rewarding when it works and nothing catches fire. So I think that's gonna, look at that. That's my new 12 volt. All I have left to do is put the cover on there. And now I have the confidence to put in more lights in my other room there, and possibly in here, just to get some DC lighting in here, just because it doesn't burn much power. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, peace.